proud, excited, and very happy to be part of this initiative. It's our way of giving back to the society. It's our way of thanking the industry. It's our way of trying to capture the best practices across the globe and tailor make it to the Indian environment. So it is global. Along with that, it's very local. It is pictorial, but it is very detailed. It is process flows, but it has a human side to it. So I think I'm very excited to be a part of this, and as an alliance, it's an attempt that we've made, and hopefully it pays off and it turns out to be a useful reference book or a blue book or a playbook, whatever you might call it. Just use it to your benefit. So that's my starting point. Coming back to strategy, all of us, Rishi, are back on the drawing boards. It's a very different landscape. It's absolutely changed. But trust me, I'm an eternal optimist. It's a huge opportunity for us to write history, right? And I think a lot of leaders have already started thinking in those directions. A lot of leaders have already started talking about that. A lot of leaders have been proactively in the process of deploying and testing waters on the strategy front. I will just touch upon 5 key aspects that we need to take into consideration while formulating the strategy, rewriting the strategy, redoing the strategy, whatever you might call it. First and foremost, and I know it's been talked about, is humanization of business plans. We need to start baselining our organizations from a human standpoint. You would have heard, IQ, you would have heard EQ. It's time to bring in HQ, which is a humanization quotient. We need to start understanding what the new means for our people, which means what? The emotional well-being, the physical well-being, the way the complete organization structures its deliverables around the people, the performance management systems. I think all of them need to be revisited. And the fundamentals of that need to be around people. It used to be a given, while planning for business, we never used to think, okay, how many of our people are going to come to work? Is that going to be at a premium, right? How many of us will be able to travel? So we need to understand that it's not a level playing field anymore, right? It was 400 people, let's say an organization size of 400. It's 400 people coming into one office. So at least the start point for them is the same. Now it's 400 different start points. It's 400 different organizations. It's 400 different musicians which need to be orchestrated in a way that you get the right rhythm. So I think that's one very important aspect that needs to be taken into consideration, right? Second is the shelf life of business plans is not going to be in years. At least for the next 4 to 5 years, we are going to be revisiting business plans. If not weekly, if not monthly, we'll be doing it quarterly. So there is no running away, or we should not be feeling bad about revisiting these business plans, because the whole landscape is changing. There are too many variables involved. So we got to have a nimble, we got to have a flexible, and we got to have a adaptable business plan in place. Third thing, which I really want to stress upon, while doing these business plans, we will have to do a lot of unlearning. There's a lot of things that were a given, and we need to give up on them, right? So we need to unlearn. So we need to be ready to unlearn and learn again. So that's one more very important facet of what needs to be taken into consideration in this new scheme of things. Our business plans will no more be activity based. They will all be outcome based. It's a huge transformation, guys. It's easier said than done. You will have to give up that activity based control, or we as leaders will have to give up the activity based control. That's where the ownership at a team level, when you start engaging from an outcome-based standpoint, the ownership really shifts from you to the organization that's delivering, right? So that's where you need to create an ecosystem around your people to be able to set up for success, to be able to deliver, to have performance management systems which help them deliver. So I think that's another very important facet. And the last but not the least is need for speed. You've heard this, right? It's a video game, but it's not in this context. I'm not referring to that game. But need for speed is going to be critical out here, which means speed of decision making, speed of execution, speed of accepting failures. It's very important. You got to accept, you got to take it on the chin and move forward. So I think these are some of the key aspects which we need to take into consideration when we embark on this journey of rewriting our so-called business plans. And obviously, then this dovetails into the three dimensions of business planning, right? All these key facets will dovetail into the three key dimensions of business planning, which are who we are, if you want to, and that's value, that's culture. You might stay the way in terms of who we are, you might change it. You might want to bring about a lot of cultural shift. So the who we are dimension needs to be answered. How do we operate? That's another critical aspect. The complete, there's a paradigm shift in the way we are going to be operating. The platforms are going to change, the ways of engagement are going to change, our interactions are going to change, and we need to be cognizant of that fact. And how do we grow? It's a very different conversation from a growth standpoint than what it was about 2 quarters ago. So that's my, in the limited time that I had, that's my opinion, that's my view. But I'm sure that's going to be common, and it's going to be cutting across industries and organizations. It's a good starting point. We are at the cusp of, writing history. So I think we have a great opportunity at our disposal. We can make the best of it.